I'm Leslie, welcome to Brand Sheets. This video is all about ricotta. So I'm splitting up this video into a few different parts. Part 1, little history lesson. Part 2, ricotta making. Part 3, a little side note about brown butter. And Part 4, how to use your ricotta. Assembling it into an amazing show-stopping dip that will be the star of any party. Let's get started. Thanks for joining us. Care to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Louisa, and my great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy was Louis Pasteur, the inventor of pasteurization. Pasteurization completely changed the food industry.
Oh yeah? How so?
Well, back in the early 1800s, i.e. the Industrial Revolution, the food industry was really taking off and people were buying their food more because people were working more and there was less people at home making food. But you know what else was taking off? Microbes. They were eating everything. They were spoiling everything. They were spoiling literally everything. That led to a lot of food waste.
Oh, food waste. That's a hot issue right now.
Yeah, well, it's been an issue since the dawn of time. It's just, real hot button right now. But that's another story. Anyway, my great-great-great-great-granddaddy was playing around in his lab in the mid-1800s and he discovered that if you heat a liquid to a certain temperature, it eliminates most of those little nasty microbes that like to eat all the food and ruin it. He was first playing around with it with wine, and then he moved on to beer, and then finally the dairy industry, which is why we're here today. There are all sorts of categorizations of pasteurization, but what you'll see in the market in the dairy case these days is usually ultra pasteurized or ultra high pasteurized. Sometimes you'll find high, but typically those are a little more expensive and in specialty stores like Whole Foods or, something like that. If something is categorized as high pasteurization, that means it's been heated to 145 degrees Fahrenheit or 63 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Another process for high pasteurization is if it's heated to 162 degrees Fahrenheit or 72 degrees Celsius for 2 to 15 seconds. Now, I don't really know the difference. You're going to have to ask the dairy industry on that one. But I guess they result in the same amount of microbes being killed. So something that is ultra pasteurized is heated to 138 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 2 seconds. Ultra high pasteurized is heated to 280 degrees Fahrenheit to 302 degrees Fahrenheit, which is super, super hot and killing all the buggies in there, okay? Well, and then there's one more weirdo kind of pasteurization called radiation where they hit it with beta or gamma rays, but we're not going to talk about that because I don't think that's done to milk, but maybe it is. I don't know. I don't want radiation milk. I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
So what does that all have to do with my quest to make cheese at home?
So my point is that you want to try to get the lowest amount of pasteurization with the highest quality of milk. If you are located somewhere where there's a dairy farm and you can get real freshy fresh milk at maybe a low pasteurization, you might have a better tasting product at the end. But if you can't, try to look for the highest quality of milk with the lowest pasteurization. So organic is great. Whole Foods or places like that, you typically can find higher quality dairy product. So it's worth the splurge. So some of those microbes in that milk actually enhance the flavor, enhance the process, and it's just, it's just better for cheese making.
Now I'm oddly excited about milk. Thanks for stopping by to talk about your great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy.
No problem, sugar. You better slide some of that cheese my way.
I got you. We're going to work on making our cheese now, and to do that, we're going to need a few things. First and foremost, we're going to need our milk, and I bought organic grass milk, which is ultra pasteurized, but not ultra high pasteurized. Again, refer to the earlier conversation with Louisa.
The point is you want to get the best quality milk at the lowest pasteurization, and this one was available at my grocery store, so I got it. Salt, vinegar, a slotted spoon, an instant read thermometer, cheesecloth, a fine mesh sieve or strainer, and then a some sort of vessel that this fits into to help the cheese strain, and some sort of large pot. I'm using a cast iron Dutch oven. Pour your milk into. All right. Splash. Heat on. I'm gonna set it to like medium high. And while that's heating up, I'm going to fashion a little rig to put my thermometer in. I would use my candy thermometer, but I don't really like it. I think I'm gonna get a different one. My little rig, just to hold my thermometer up, and that way also I can see it as it's reading. I'm gonna add a pinch of salt. Just a little bit. We're at 177.8 degrees, so we are getting very close. I measured out 2 tablespoons of distilled white vinegar. I'm gonna pour that in the second this bad boy comes to temperature. Looks like we're at 182. We need it to be at 185. Okay, we're at 185. I'm gonna turn the heat down and add the magic. So if I've done this right, you'll see it immediately should start forming curds. Looks like we've got a little curd action going. I think I need just a teeny splash more vinegar. Oh wait, no. Wait, just a little bit. Ah, you see, we've got some curds going. All right, so now that the curds are forming, 20 minutes on the timer. And basically, we just have to babysit this slurry for 20 minutes to ensure that it doesn't go above 185. Well, it can be between 183 and 190. 185 is ideal, obviously. We've actually peaked. I'm gonna turn this heat off for a second. So now it's just a waiting game. We've got curd action happening. FYI, this is not hands-off. You should definitely be here looking at your mixture, making sure that you're maintaining the temp. This is what I'm doing right now, is I'm like maintaining the temperature. I think I've gone a little high. I'm a little worried. The heat is really fickle on this because these cast irons, they definitely hold a lot of heat. See, this is like not what you want to see. This is like a little too hot. I'm worried that it's gone too high. Curd can. So let's talk about a few uses of ricotta while this is maintaining a temperature above what it should be maintaining, but like hopefully it's okay. So I am gonna put together a dip, and it consists of the ricotta that's been whipped, and then I'm going to brown some butter, cut some fresh sage, use a little bit of like delicious high quality honey, and some flaky sea salt. I discovered this combination at a restaurant and I wanted to make it for myself, and I did make it for Thanksgiving and it was absolutely delicious. I hope my little curd babies are okay. Or some other uses of ricotta are lasagna. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, just buy store-bought ricotta if you're gonna make a lasagna, because unless you're doing something ultra fancy, I don't think it's necessary to do something like this. You're gonna cook it anyway, it's gonna be mixed with a bunch of other stuff. I don't think it's necessary to make your own ricotta for lasagna. You could also do like stuffed shells. Is ricotta toast the new avo toast? Who knows? Maybe. I heard it was tomato toast. It's not tomato season right now. It's not really anything season right now. It's winter. All right.
Just checking on my little baby over here. Look at that. Ooh, we got some good solid action going. We are maintaining our temperature. It's been 20 minutes. Time to strain. And my pan will be hot, so have a mix. Using a slotted spoon, picking up the curds. Oh wait, I have this lined wrong. Let's try that again. All right, cheesecloth goes above the sieve. All right. So just try to scoop out as much of the cheese solids as you can, leaving the liquid behind. So what you do not want to do is just like pick this up and dump it into here, because you'll overflow, because it'll never be able to drain through the sieve or the cheesecloth. I'm going to use a teeny tiny sieve for the rest of this. That works really well. I think that's all the curds we're gonna get. So we're just gonna let that drain for, I don't know, a while. It's 1:22 right now, so we'll let it drain for an hour, maybe? Look at that. Okay, so there's a lot of whey in there. I'm gonna dump it back. So. It's a very wet process. It has been 1 hour and 40 minutes of drainage of our ricotta. There's not too much liquid left, as you can see. And we've got like a nice bouncy texture. Don't worry, I have clean hands. Little bouncy texture. So it has like give and then it pushes back. Here's a little like side piece on how to make brown butter. We're over the stove, I have a 1 stick of butter. Wow, that was dramatic. And I'm just putting it in a stainless steel pan over medium heat. You don't have to do this over stainless. I just like it in stainless. You can do it in nonstick, you can do it in a pot, you can do it in whatever you want. I like the stainless because you're able to see the progress of the butter, and the more it cooks, the deeper brown it gets. And you don't want it to get too brown because then it gets really bitter, but you also want it to have like a bit of color to it, so it has a rich, nutty flavor. All right, I think we're good to go. So I have my handy dandy mini sieve again, and I'm going to strain this through. Because what you don't want is those little brown pieces in your butter, because that doesn't taste very good. And there you go. Butter that is brown, as promised. Let's get started on our show-stopping dip. This consists of the ricotta, which I'm going to whip, some sage and brown butter with honey and flaky sea salt. Fresh sage. I'm gonna pull out, I don't know, 5 or 6 leaves. And when you're shopping for sage, try to find ones that have like nice, soft leaves.
and try to avoid ones that aren't soft and have little brown pieces on them. You might have a couple in any batch that you get from the grocery store, but you're really looking for these soft, almost like rabbit ear little leaves. All right, well, that's more than 5 or 6, but that's okay. I'm going to roll these up, starting from the stem end into like a nice little package. I'm gonna cut that in half and then very carefully rocking my knife back and forth, gently, 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 slowly cutting this into tiny little pieces. So we're looking like that. I might run my knife through it a little more. Sorry for the bumping. All right, so that's the sage. Since I am taking this somewhere, I'm just gonna put it in a little container, little washable little container, and store that in the fridge until I am on my way. Same with the brown butter, but I'm not gonna lid it until it's cooled down a little bit because I don't want the steam to pop it open. Next, we are going to whip our beautiful ricotta. So I have my food processor ready to go, fitted with the regular blade. Just going to dump my ricotta in there, and you can just discard the cheesecloth. So as you can see, my ricotta is pretty bouncy and a little firm, but not overly firm. I'm definitely gonna eat a little bite. It's pretty tasty. Wow, yeah, it's good. This is super, super easy. You literally just put it in the food processor. And if it's a little thick, you can thin it out with a teeny tiny bit of milk, or even a few drops of lemon juice if you want a little lemon flavor in your final product. I'm gonna pulse this and see how it goes. I have a little bit of milk in the fridge that I could use to thin this out if I need to. We'll check on it when we get there. So let's get buzzing. Yeah, actually, I think it's perfect. So you're looking for this sort of texture where it's soft and creamy. Yeah, that's it. That's what's up. I'm just gonna transfer this to a half-quart container. Is that a pint? I guess it's a pint. Yay, math. I'm gonna transfer this to a to-go container so that I can assemble it at the place I'm taking it. So just gonna grab a spatula and get this out, and I'll meet you at the party. All right, so now we're gonna assemble our ricotta dip, and I brought my whipped ricotta. Just gonna scoop that into the bowl. I'm gonna save some for like a second serving. And then I warmed up my brown butter in the microwave so it's liquid again, because by the time I brought it here, it was solid, so warm again. Let's pour about half of that over there. Maybe a little more. Okay. Then sprinkle some sage. I don't need all of this. I kind of went a little overkill on how much I cut, but it's fine. Next is the honey. So I got this like good quality honey, acacia, I don't know. It's delicious. It is a little solid, so I could heat it in the microwave, but I don't know if that's necessary. No, maybe I should. It's kind of solid. I'll just plop it on there. And then finally, top that all with some flaky sea salt. It's like a heavy pinch. Don't overdo it. And then here is the final result. Gonna just swirl all that together just a little bit to incorporate, because you do really want to have a bite of every single flavor when you're eating this. Okay, it looks disgusting, but I promise you, it's like gonna be the most impressive thing you'll ever bring to something. So that's the dip. Oh, and a little side note. You can absolutely make this dip with store-bought ricotta. You do not have to boil your own milk and make your own curds. It's all good. All right, so let's see what Louisa has to say.
Ooh, girl, that cheese looks delicious. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, send me a DM on Instagram. It's at branch_eats. Bye.
That sounds gross. Milk with like little radiation. Ooh, like some Chernobyl milk or something. I don't know. Is that insensitive? Anyway, is it too soon? Always too soon. Wow. It's okay.